Game 5 would be their first chance to close out the Buffalo Sabres and set up a date with the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final. But after a brutal bounce led to the game-tying goal from Tage Thompson, the birthday boy, Zach Benson, struck again for his fourth of the playoffs as the eventual game winner to shrink the series to a best-of-3. Back in the Queen City, the Great Lakes, the Canadiens have hopes of recreating the magic from Tampa that saw them take a 3-2 series lead thanks to an Alexandre Texier game winner. Game 5, Sabres and Canadiens, coming up next on Habs Hockey on TSN 690. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Habs Hockey on TSN 690. It is Game 5 between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres in this best-of-7 series, which has virtually become a best-of-3 now with a 2-2 tie through 4 games. We go back to Buffalo for Game 5 tonight. Victor Finley alongside Mark Denis. Mark, welcome to Habs Hockey on TSN 690. We are thrilled to have you alongside On Color tonight.
It is a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege. I don't take this lightly, and it's awesome to be working alongside you, Vic.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll see what kind of game we get tonight. Mark, I know you were just coming in from Chicoutimi when we talked this morning, so I know you've had one eye on the QMJHL final, but you've also had an eye on this series. You saw Game 4, and we're all kind of wondering here how Montreal's going to bounce back after a bad bounce. Saw the Buffalo Sabres tie the game and eventually win it in 4.
And to make sure that in a vacuum, that moment is not the turning point favoring the Buffalo Sabres, we'll need to see some maturity from the Montreal Canadiens. This is going to be the psychological battle. Is there now doubt in the player's mind wearing the Canadiens jersey? This is going to be their challenge here, and we're going to see this really early. The way we see it usually with the Montreal Canadiens, are they able to establish their forecheck, or are they going to be the stubborn team that we saw too often in game number 4? This is going to be their challenge, and obviously for both teams, discipline is written in capital letters for the game plan.
7 power plays for the Montreal Canadiens in Game 4, Mark. They get a goal on one of them. Hard to imagine that they can reasonably expect to get another 7 power plays tonight, but it really feels like special teams might end up determining who wins this series, doesn't it?
And they can thank Lindy Ruff in his comments for making sure that Montreal will most likely not get 7 power plays. I don't see the Buffalo Sabres being as careless with their sticks as they were, but I would like to see the Montreal Canadiens use their speed and try to drive the net. It feels like Dahlin and Byram included haven't found a solution to stop that progression, and that's how they've been taking those bad penalties. And from the power play standpoint, there needs to be a better collective execution. If they scored a goal on 7 opportunities, thank Cole Caulfield for it and his silky mitts, because the patterns that weren't working, the execution weren't there. They got stubborn on the power play as well, and they became too predictable. They definitely need to find a way to generate if they're not finding the back of the net on the power play.
So Cole Caulfield beats Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for that power play goal. That was a hot topic of conversation as Buffalo decided to shake things up in Game 4, Mark, but we are anticipating the exact same line combos and the exact same players, the exact same goaltenders here for Game 5 on both sides.
And it was a dandy. It was a nice goaltending battle that we had, a great goaltending duel between Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen coming in, not quite sure the type of goalie we're going to see. He struggled in his second start against Buffalo, was pulled, and had to watch Alex Lyon get 7 straight starts. He was tremendous once he settled in. As far as Jakub Dobeš is concerned, he's been a force, and he's brought stability between the pipes for the Montreal Canadiens. The way he bounced back after that unfortunate bounce was outstanding.
That he was, Mark, and of course, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was the first star in Game 5, or check that, Game 4 as well, for the Buffalo Sabres. We got players on the ice at KeyBank Center. We will send you out there now for the playing of the Canadian and American national anthems.
Four years ago on this date, 10 lives were taken from us in a tragic shooting on Buffalo's east side. Today and always, we remember and honor the 10 neighbors, friends, and family members we lost on May 14th, 2022.
Storm shadow. Well, looks like Mumra's looking to help him, but
We now ask that you please rise, if you are able, and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the Erie County Sheriff's Honor Guard. And Singing of Old Canada and the Star Spangled Banner, performed tonight by Cammie Clooney.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave.
We are all set and ready to go for Game 5 in this best-of-7 second-round series between the Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. We will get you introduced to the starting netminders tonight. We've already mentioned them, but we'll go through the formality anyways. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets the call for Buffalo in Game 5. He made 29 saves on 31 shots in Game 4 versus Montreal, earning first star honors. And Jakub Dobeš for the Canadiens once again. Just found out today he finished 4th in Calder Trophy voting. Ivan Demidov was second on that list, so Demidov and Dobeš are the first teammates to finish top 5 in Calder votes since Lucas Raymond and Mort Seider, who won it with the Detroit Red Wings back in 2021. So So 2 young players right there in Demidov and Dobush who are hoping to be a factor in the series. 2 young teams, Mark, today. Montreal and Buffalo on the hot seat here in Game 5.
And which of these young teams will be able to show maturity in a pivotal Game 5?
To center ice we go. Nick Suzuki will take the opening face-off for Montreal. He's out there with Caulfield and Slavkovsky to start this game. Canadiens moving right to left in this first period. Sabres win possession off the draw, and they've got it in their own zone. Dahlin and Samuelson on the ice with Norris, Doan, and Benson. We are expecting no lineup changes on either side tonight from what we saw in Game 4. Dobson in his own zone. He'll roll it around the boards all the way out to center. Caulfield far side has it stolen away by Dahlin. And Zach Benson, who got back on the score sheet for Buffalo in Game 5, will pass it off. Benson has been excellent in this postseason for the Sabres. He's up to 4 goals now and 7 points in 10 games as Buffalo roll it into the Montreal zone. Here's Alexander Carrier. He'll move it to center. Josh Anderson collects it. And over the line, far side on Byram. He'll just move it in behind the Buffalo net. Here's Texier now. Up the wing, Texier to the line. Matheson's shot bounces around in front, settled down though by Buffalo. And they'll transport the puck out to center. Far side shot incoming, snapped wide as the Tage Thompson line gets on the ice. Here's Thompson, rips a one-timer. We haven't seen a whole lot of that yet in this series, but Alexander Carrier blocks that one. As Thompson in the corner. Back to the line. Powers swept it toward the net. That took a tip wide. Peyton Krebs, near side hash marks to the line. Connor Timmins floats it in on Dobush. He'll just block that aside. And the Habs swing it around for Texier. Under pressure, Sabres get it away. Here's Constantinides. He put it off the outside of the net. Now carried around by Jack Quinn. Feeds the line. Timmins passes over. Far side, they score! And before we even get a stoppage in Game 5, the Buffalo Sabres have opened up the goal scoring 2 minutes in.
Long shift by a lot of the players on the Montreal Canadiens on this prolonged presence in the offensive zone. They were able to change the Buffalo Sabres. They brought the Thompson line, and now with Quinn, Helenius, and Zucker on the ice, they bring traffic to the front of the net. Through that traffic, the puck will go off right in front of Jakub Dobush, who has no chance. Jack Quinn's shot actually deflects twice. First time off of Zucker's skate, and it will eventually hit a Montreal player and Dobush spad before finding the back of the net. Traffic and presence in the offensive zone. This was a long shift for the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, Mark, you mentioned at the pregame, traffic in front of Luukkonen would be a key for Montreal, but it's traffic in front of Dobush that pays off for Buffalo. And Jason Zucker has his first of the Stanley Cup playoffs. He had just 1 assist in 10 games entering play tonight. And he comes up with a big opening goal here 2 minutes in to put Buffalo in front 1-0 in Game 5. Sabres working into the Montreal zone. So we'll wait for official word here on who grabs the assists on the Zucker opening tally. Buffalo back in on the forecheck. Here's Jordan Greenway far side. He's out there with Norris and Beck Malenstein. Norris tried to center it. Here's Jacky near side. He played under 4 minutes in Game 4 for Montreal, but he gets a shift here with Greenway on the ice. And now they're tied up with one another back in the Montreal zone as they'll go separate ways. The Sabres skate to center. Connor Timmins played down the right side. Here's Josh Doan. Looks to move it behind the Montreal net. There for it is Zach Benson. He'll cycle around for Josh Norris. Now Doan keeps it moving. Left side, here's Rasmus Dahlin. And he's pushed along the boards as Jack Quinn and Connor Timmins officially get the assists on the Jason Zucker goal at 2 minutes of period number 1. So Canadiens looking for a way out of their own zone. They will get it to center. It's Kirby Dach, far side. High shot on Luukkonen is stopped. Rebound. And it's off the outside of the net. And still alive is Kirby Dach. Couldn't settle it for a follow-up opportunity.
Shooting for rebounds might be a really good idea against Luukkonen.
Habs getting a line change here as they'll go all the way back into their own zone.
Early goals in this series have definitely been a thing, Vic.
That's right, not the first time Buffalo have scored before the first stoppage. Of course, Tage Thompson had 1:53 seconds into Game 3. Sabres got the first goal of the game as well in Game 4. As we battle for it, far side, Buffalo zone. Canadiens take it away. Nick Suzuki high in the slot. Can't get it through clean to the net. Sabres played it to center, and Mike Matheson goes all the way back for it. Now handled by Juraj Slavkovsky. He'll hand off to Matheson. 15:31 to go in the first. The shots are tied at 3, but the score is 1-0 Buffalo. Gooley to center. He'll zip that in, but couldn't find the mark for Josh Anderson, who felt like he tipped it, but they're going to call this icing on Montreal.
Timmins getting an assist. He might have been questionable for tonight's game. Wasn't part of a full team skate this morning for the Buffalo Sabres, who had yesterday off. He's in. He gets an assist. Quinn puts the puck on net. Lots of traffic. Jordan Greenway has been trying to get Arbor Jackeye to take a penalty. We've seen it since the start of this series. It'll be interesting to see how often Jackeye is deployed tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. Only played barely 4 minutes last game, less than 4 minutes.
He's got one shift so far tonight, Mark, and it was with Jordan Greenway on the ice, and I don't believe that's a coincidence. As the Sabres have it at center ice. Here's Consta Hellenis. Move it in off the boards. He had 3 shots in Game 4 for Buffalo, his first career Stanley Cup playoff game. As here come the Canadiens over the line, they're going to be whistled down for offside as Anderson couldn't bring it in clean.
And he was a factor in that game. Very gutsy decisions by Lindy Ruff in that Game 4, changing the starting goalie, getting Luke Schenn in a very specific role, killing penalties. Obviously welcomes the physical play, and he's a presence also. He's a very well-liked veteran. What a big goal for Jason Zucker for the Buffalo Sabres. They were waiting for him to finally find the score sheet.
He's one of their veteran players, Mark, on a team that is very young. Jason Zucker, 33 years old. He's been around this league for quite some time now. As Owen Power is back into his own zone. And of course, Luke Schenn is a long-time veteran, 2-time Stanley Cup champ. He's out there right now with Owen Power. And here goes Schenn to center ice. Lumbers in over the Montreal line near side. And throw it wide of the net. Sabres work it down low of the goal line. Beck Malenstein on the ice with Ryan McLeod and Jordan Greenway. With Schenn out there as well. This is a line that could pack a bit of a punch if they need to. As Owen Power, far side wing. Pressured and taken away here by Montreal. Evans got it loose right to Jackeye. He'll skate around in his own end with Lane Hudson, and the Canadiens are going to change. 14:08 to go in the first. 1-0 Buffalo as the Habs shoot it in from center. In behind the Sabre net, here's Bowen Byram. Tied up, it's dug free by Slavkovsky. To the line, Hudson, left side. Darts to the slot, little wrister. That's stopped by Luukkonen, and the rebound with Caulfield on the doorstep is turned away as well. As here goes Doan. Hurrying through center, but this is taken away by the Canadiens. And back down ice it goes. Played in behind the Sabre net. Connor Timmins is on it, given away. Suzuki in front with the pass, and they score! Cole Caulfield with a 5-on-5 even strength goal has tied it at 1 goal apiece in the first.
That is the second grade A chance. 5-on-5 for Cole Caulfield on this shift alone. First off a Lane Hudson shot from afar on the rebound. The second off a Timmins turnover. The patience by Nick Suzuki. Off the turnover, Slavkovsky finds the captain to the right of Luukkonen. With the Buffalo Sabres not being able to find their defensive assignment, there is no defense for turnovers. He waits for Cole Caulfield to be right at the doorstep to redirect that perfect pass from the captain, and Caulfield is finally on the score sheet, 5-on-5.
Fourth of the playoffs for Caulfield, third in this series. And the assists will go to Suzuki and Slavkovsky. How many times did we see that in the regular season? We finally see it for the first time at even strength in the postseason. Here's Matheson with his shot, side of the net. Kirby Dach trying to stuff it home. Still loose in the blue paint, corralled by Matheson. Wrister, that got through, and Luukkonen able to find that and hang on here as the Canadiens give up the first goal, but a great pushback has brought them back on level ground. Zucker with the game opener, but then Cole Caulfield has just tied it on his fourth of the playoffs. Canadiens looking for more here as Luukkonen holds the fort. We got ourselves a 1-1 tie in Game 5 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
I've always wondered what kind of tires they put on the Zamboni.
I bet they're not summer tires.
Maybe all season?
I doubt it.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Jeez, feels like the Habs are always on the road.
I hope they have good tires.
They fly.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
13:05 to go in period number 1 in Buffalo. We've already got a goal on each side in this game. Zucker and Caulfield with the score tied at 1. And prior to the break mark, the Canadiens looking for another one. Kirby Dach at the side of the net creates a little chaos.
Actions are important. Reactions are even more so. And what happened from the Canadiens' standpoint here is you get a big shift from your big line and you follow suit. Sending traffic at the net and finding those rebounds will obviously be key. And the forecheck. Montreal was able to score a goal 5-on-5 with their top unit off a forecheck turnover.
Canadiens win the ozone face-off. Here's Lane Hudson. Passes over far side, shot it coming from Dobson. That is corralled by Luukkonen, who's able to find that through traffic.
And we saw Cole Caulfield earlier in this series. I mean, missed the ocean from the end of the pier. Not so much tonight. He's a much more confident player. Timmins tries to neutralize Caulfield's stick when the captain, Nick Suzuki, finds him right at the doorstep. I want to see Caulfield at the doorstep more often.
51 goals in the regular season and 88 goals over the last 2 years, most by any U.S.-born player in the NHL. Second most is Tage Thompson in that time period. As the Habs win the ozone face-off, here's Hudson with a shot that goes astray off a body. Sabres take it away, though, and out to center they go. Zach Benson on the ice with Josh Stone and Josh Norris. Deep into the Montreal zone. He's pressured from behind by Lane Hudson. Puck comes up the near wing. Played back down low for Benson. Looks to play it in behind the net. That's cut off by Dobson. Skated around by Josh Norris now as he'll play it back through the middle. Power with a low try. That never got through. Back to the line. Power. Passes over. Doan scores. And Buffalo have answered right back. Josh Doan with a shot off the left side, and it's 2-1 Sabres.
When you look at the full body of work, including round 1 against Boston, Doan, Norris, Benson, that's been the Sabres' best line. They have the Montreal Canadiens pinned down in their own zone, and after a rebound corralled by Cole Caulfield, a giveaway and a fall in the high slot. Means more possession, but more traffic. Traffic has been the key ingredient on both sides of the puck so far for both these teams. Cole Caulfield felt really good offensively. We'll see how he reacts after this giveaway that ends up in the back of his own net.
And for Josh Doan, it's his third the Stanley Cup playoffs. Has had a great season for Buffalo. Signed a big 7-year extension as well after coming over from Utah in the summer in the J.J. Peterka deal. And the Canadiens right back in, they score! Shot from the line is redirected. And this might be Texier who got a piece of it to steer it in, and we're not even 8 minutes in, and we've already got ourselves 4 goals in the game.
Wow. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. This is far from over. What a bounce-back shift once again. Getting secondary scoring may have been a Montreal Canadiens issue throughout the regular season, not so much in these playoffs. Not being stubborn, shooting the puck in deep, not being able to corral this puck off the end wall. Rasmus Dahlin sees this puck get all the way to Carrier. Carrier sees their traffic and presence in front of Luukkonen. Puck goes off Texier's skate, and we're tied at 2 again.
So Texier answers back just 9 seconds after Josh Doan had given Buffalo the lead. Kirby Dach got one back against Tampa Bay 11 seconds after they had taken a lead.
The simplicity of winning a faceoff, dumping it in at the red line, and getting that puck back.
So the Canadiens with 2 goals on 9 shots. The Sabres was with 2 goals on 3. And here come the Habs again. Far side shot through Jack-Eye, carries wide. It's going to go all the way back out to center. So the Caulfield goal is his 4th from Suzuki and Slavkovsky at 6:31 as we got an icing here. Doan scores at 7:43 from Owen Power and Texier at 7:53. So officially now it's 10 seconds between the two. Carrier will certainly get an assist, and we're waiting for the secondary one on that as well.
Luke Schenn's been brought in for a physical presence. Trying to neutralize Texier's stick. He can't box him out far enough where Texier's presence in front of Luukkonen when Carrier gets the puck off the wall and just a wrister towards the net. It's probably not even on target if it doesn't hit Texier's skate. That's why it's so important to have bodies at the net. They've been given the Sabres defenseman fits by trying to get in front of that net.
Sabres ozone face-off. Picked up by Talk to the line, and almost a breakaway for Demidov. Instead, the puck ends up out of play. And Mark, you mentioned the shots that weren't even going in the net. That is the formula that gave Montreal the Game 7 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. 2 goals on 9 shots that were not destined to go in.
Structure. There are 6 teams left playing hockey in the NHL this season. You're going to get the best out of them. Their structure is going to be there. You need to take full advantage of turnovers and opportunity to send pucks in traffic at the net.
Habs in on the forecheck as the Texier goal is officially now assisted by Carrier and Philip Deneau. So we got 10:57 to go in the first period. 2-2 tie, 4 goals in 5 minutes and 58 seconds. As the Canadiens back into their own zone. There's Mike Matheson, feeds it up for Newhook. To center we go. Evans throws it away, and Matthias Samuelsson. And behind the Sabre net. Throws it up to center ice for Tage Thompson. Taken away by the Canadiens. They're going to get a line change in. Habs to center, fire it in. Rides around for Samuelsson. He'll dish it off to Dahlin. And Rasmus Dahlin lobs it all the way out down the ice. That will go for an icing call here with 10:13 to play in the first.
The Buffalo Sabres played their best defensive game at the Bell Center in Game 4. Tonight, not so much yet. There was so little room in that first-round series for Montreal Canadiens against the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of players are finding confidence, groove, and they thrive when there's more room, especially in the high slot. And now, at the goal front. That's where I believe the Montreal Canadiens need to find themselves more often.
Joe Veleno in to take the face-off from Montreal. He's joined by Dach and Bolduc, and the Canadiens win it back. Dobson with a shot, and that's kicked away by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen as the puck is played to center. Zucker tried to siphon it over to Konsta Helenius. It gets played back in behind the Buffalo net. Dahlin snaps it ahead. Samuelsson through center ice. Down the left side through the middle for Helenius. He bobbled it, got the shot away, and he scores! And there are no signs of the floodgates closing anytime soon to start this game. Buffalo, with another answer, have taken their third lead of the first period.
Next save wins. We'll just need one here tonight eventually. This might be one that Dobesh wants back. Hudson gives the Buffalo Sabres and Helenius a little bit of room on the entry. And it might have gone off Hudson at Tad when he's trying to block this shot. But this will go right between the wickets, right 5-hole, right along the ice against Dobesh. This game is far from over. Helenius has been a shot in the arm of the Buffalo Sabres since being inserted in the lineup in Game 4, and he finds the back of the net for the first time here early in this game.
3 goals on 4 shots for Buffalo, and given the way that last one went in, this is not an easy situation for Jakub Dobesh to handle. Helenius, his first career playoff goal, comes at 10:15 of period number 1. Samuelson and Dahlin draw the assists, and it's 3-2 Buffalo with 9:19 still to go in the first period of play.
Dobesh's response becomes huge now.
Canadiens to center. Uri Slavkovsky moves it in right side. Caulfield with a shot. That one glances the outside of the net. Near side, Sabre zone. To the line, Matheson holds it in. Played down low, Timmins gets over to it, and he'll lift it off the glass and out. All the way through center. The Minnesota-Colorado series ended last night, but you might remember the way it started, a 9-7 win. And we are on track for something like that tonight in Game 5 between Montreal and Buffalo as the Habs move it into the Sabre zone. Josh Anderson near corner. All the way to the line. Trailed by Bowen Byram, handed off, picked up by Jordan Greenway. And he comes in far side. He's bumped into by Arbor Jackeye. Now down the far boards for Beck Mallenstein. He's roughed up by Gooley. Puck spills loose. Mallenstein settles it down out in front. McLeod was behind the defenders but couldn't settle it for a shot. To the line, Samuelson with a try. That one hits traffic in front of Dobesh as Greenway and Jackeye were going at it. Battle in the near corner. 7:54 to go in the center, and we got a lot of runway left in this game. Here's Evans to the end boards. Buffalo zone, he took a hit from Luke Shen. Tuck. Dishes off to Thompson. Up to center ice for Peyton Krebs. That's wrenched free by Montreal and moved in off the boards. Sabres back to center. Dahlin to the attacking zone. Cross ice feed. There's the shot and a kick save made by Jakub Dobesh. He denied, caught to Helenius and was looking for his second of the night.
That next save was really important for Dobesh. He's got to be careful not to be over-aggressive.
Habs in the attacking zone at the line. Here's a shot. That one took a tip in front but goes wide. Timmins passes over to the far side. Sabres move it to center ice. Zucker hands off for Helenius. Played in deep. Zucker goes after it. And the Sabres get going off the forecheck. Carried up high by Jack Quinn. He'll leave it for Owen Power. He's shoved off the puck by Kirby Dach, who will just play that off the boards and out to center. Habs looking to get in a line change as Josh Doan skates around. And he'll bring it in over the Montreal zone. Off of the far side, Josh Anderson takes it away, and up to center it goes as the Canadiens get their top line on the ice. Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Cole Caulfield. Here's Benson the other way. Over to Josh Doan, back through the middle. Sabres moving in and don't get a shot. As Noah Dobson will come back the other way to neutral territory. And played in. This is going to be called an icing here on Montreal. So 5:43 still to go in the first. It's 3-2 Buffalo. Shots are 10-6 Montreal.
Longtime NHL goalie coach Rick Wamsley was my goalie coach for 6 seasons. And he used to tell me, you can't make 10 saves on one shot. Dobesh needs to focus on the next one.
Wild start in Buffalo. as we have ourselves a 3-2 Sabres lead. As we will stay here off an offensive zone draw for Buffalo. It's taken by Montreal and flung to center as Matthias Samuelsson goes back for it in Sabre territory. Off to Dahlin. Down the right side, here's Tage Thompson. Cross ice, tuck. Moving in on Suzuki. Handles it in behind the Canadiens' net. Turns around. Tried to center. Bounces around in front of Dobish. It's settled down by Slavkovsky. Played to the line, but not out. Sabres stay with it. Back through the middle. There's a good stop from Dobish as he shoulders a shot from Peyton Krebs to the corner. And the Canadiens come back to center as Caulfield will flip it in.
The Montreal Canadiens have not defended the rush and the zone entries very well in this first period.
Sabres come right back in from center, bobbled at the line. Down the left side, this will be to the net, loose in front, and Dobish able to get on top of that as the Sabres were threatening. But Dobish will hang on to it, and he's going to get an earful here from Jason Zucker after the play. Quite the start in Buffalo this evening. 3 goals for the Sabres. Zucker, Doan, and Hellenis. Caulfield and Texier score for the Canadiens. We're back here in a moment on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sor.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SO Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV, with RDS and more sports channels, plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
4:37 to go in period number 1 of Game 5 between the Canadiens and the Sabres, and we've already got enough goals for 60 minutes, but they've come a lot quicker than that here in Buffalo. It's 3-2 Sabres with less than 5 to play now.
And watching this first period, I have a feeling both teams are shaken defensively. Like, which one will find its bearings? Which one will be able to clog the neutral zone and defend the zone entries? Zone entries have been pretty easy. They weren't that easy in the whole 7-game series against Tampa. It seems like access to the opponent's blue line is wide open so far. Who's going to take full advantage of it here late in the first period?
Canadiens will put Evans, Newhook, and Yvonne Demidov on the ice here. It'll be Greenway, Mallenstein, and McLeod. For the Buffalo Sabres, a little bit of ice maintenance here as well before we get going. Obviously, Mark, road game for the Habs, so the Sabres have the advantage with last change, but as you mentioned in the pregame show, Marty St. Louis isn't exactly a coach that relies too much on the matchups. He's more of a flow guy when it comes to managing the bench, right?
Doesn't want to break the flow, and he's an deployment type of coach. Depending on the side of the face-off and which end zone it will be in, the neutral zone, he'll go freely and not disrupt the momentum to try to have everybody touch the ice. It's a little bit different in the playoffs where there's more time management.
We are good to go once again in the Montreal zone. And there's a quick shot from Beck Mallenstein off the draw that was stapled wide of the net. Habs back the other way with Alex Newhook, who's trying to make it goals in 4 straight. As the Sabres come back into the Montreal zone, they're forced to center. Last Hab to score in 4 straight in the playoffs was Alex Kovalev. As here goes Goulet back into his own end. He'll move it off the boards and out to center. Herbert Jackeye in on the left side. Play it around the boards. Sabres try and chop it to center. It'll be carried there by Jordan Greenway. And played in the rest of the way behind the Montreal net. Now Herbert Jackeye's on it. Whoa, when he played it off the goalpost, it ends up getting to Zach Bolduc. Maybe not exactly how they drew it up, but it does not come back to hurt the Montreal Canadiens on this occasion. Habs out through center. Far side, Veleno swings it right in on Luukkonen, and that's going to be covered up for the whistle. That'll leave us with 3:28 to play in this first period. We'll take another break here and be back in a moment on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Trade tariffs, quotas, changing customs regulations. It's a lot, but you don't have to manage it alone. Delmar's customs brokerage experts help you stay compliant, reduce costs, and trade with confidence. Visit DelmarCargo.com. Delmar, logistics made simple.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. Yeah, put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
3:28 to go on period number 1 of Game 5. 3-2 Sabres lead, and just prior to the break mark, it's a bit of an adventure there for Jackeye in his own zone, but he gets away with it, and he's already played more ice time in this game at 4 minutes and 12 seconds than he did in the entirety of Game 4.
When the home coach chooses hard matchups, it can help you when you're the road team. Stefan Robida knows, and when Marty St. Louis sends the Evans line over the boards, they're going to get McLeod, Greenway, and Mallenstein. That's when you send Jackeye.
D-zone face-off win for the Sabres, and they'll play it out to center. So 5 shifts for Jackeye tonight. Again, a lot of it's been with Mallenstein, Greenway, and McLeod on the ice. As the Sabres have their Josh Doan, Josh Norris, and Zach Benson combo on right now. It's the top line for Montreal with Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Caulfield. Here's Hudson at center. Taken by Suzuki. He'll rip a backhander off the boards into the Buffalo end. Played back to center and chopped out of play into the Buffalo bench by Josh Norris.
With 5 goals being scored so fast in the game, now you see 2 nervous teams not wanting to take risks as much. That's when you go back to direct and simple game. I really like when the Montreal Canadiens, not being stubborn, are able to position and place that puck behind the Buffalo Sabres' last line of defense. Make them turn, see what their forwards are able to do in transition, and try to pounce on a turnover. That's exactly how Caulfield scored his first playoff 5-on-5 goal.
Neutral zone face-off win for the Habs, and they'll float it into the Buffalo zone. Owen Power is back for it. And up the center goes Thompson. In with Tuck and Peyton Krebs. Near side, Bowen Byram. Hash marks, right wing in the Montreal zone. To the corner, Byram snapped it to the line. There's Krebs. Long shot, does not get through. That was right off of Philip Deneau. Sabres stay with it. Far side, Krebs. Back up high in the slot, bit of a pass to no man's land is picked up by Josh Anderson. And now backhanded in the rest of the way by Alexander Carrier. Sabres reset. 2 minutes to play in the first. 3-2 Buffalo in Game 5. Filtered in behind the Montreal net. Here's Goulian. Up to center. Demidov, right side. Played it off the boards. Goes after with Connor Timmins. Battle for it behind the Buffalo net. Consta-Hellenis. Moved ahead for Jack Quinn. Down the near side. Zucker. Quinn trying to go back out in front. That was redirected by Caden Goulet. Sabres on it, far side. Puck is picked up by Jack Quinn. Tried to control through the slot. Lost it. He's got it back though. Far side. Quinn threatens to shoot. Passes off. Timmins through the middle. His shot's blocked by Goulet. And the Habs alleviate the pressure. Couple big plays for Caden Goulet on that last shift with a minute to go in the first. Here's Power to center. He'll hoist it in. Sabres in on the forecheck with the Malenstein, McLeod, Greenway line on the ice. Back to the point. Power to the far side. Shot incoming, knocked down. Corralled by Dobson. Able to slip it over to Mike Matheson. Back to Dobson and out to center it goes. Not far though. Kirby Dach gets body checked along the boards. We got an offside call here at the Montreal blue line with 31.4 seconds remaining in the first.
Very little physicality in this first period compared to the other games in this series. But obviously, finding the back of the net early and often has that effect. Dobesh has bounced back. The Montreal Canadiens have been able to answer the Buffalo Sabres. But to me, the home team wearing blue tonight so far has been the better team on the ice in the first period.
And nothing really after the whistles, no scrums like we saw a little bit more of in Game 4. We get a neutral zone face-off here. It's won back by Buffalo. And Power will fire it in. Has played up the far side wing. It's stopped at the line by Mattias Samuelsson. Directed back in behind the net. Sabres with it near side. Have to go back to center. Slavkovsky knocks it down for the Habs, and here they go. Suzuki moves in, tried to feed it over to Caulfield. Samuelsson got his stick in the way, and that's going to be all for this first period. High-octane offense in period number 1 tonight, Mark.
Dobesh has been able to stop the bleeding and regain confidence, which is a good thing because allowing 3 goals in the first 4 shots is not the ideal start. The Montreal Canadiens need to be simple, direct when they're coming back for the second period.
So the Buffalo Sabres, with goals from Jason Zucker, Josh Doan, and Consta-Hellenis, have a 3-2 lead. That's the bad news. The good news for Montreal is that they're still very much in this game thanks to a goal from Alexandre Texier and Cole Caulfield, who gets his first at even strength 5-on-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. What a first period that was. The bar is set for period number 2. We got to wait a little bit before we get there first. It is the first intermission roundtable coming up next, featuring our color commentator tonight, Mark Denis. That is coming up next after the break on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
A weekly show about women's sports with top athletes, coaches, and leaders. Hosted by Michaela Schreider and Vanessa Sanchez.
This week on She's Got Game, it's the season we never thought we'd see.
The WNBA season is officially underway, and we'll catch you up on all the action.
She's Got Game, Saturday afternoon at 1 on TSN 690.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No? What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that.
You all right?
can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. Yeah, put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The first intermission is brought to you by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name and visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Now carried around by Jack Quinn. Feeds the line. Timmins passes over. Far side, they score! And before we even get a stoppage in Game 5, the Buffalo Sabres have opened up the goal scoring 2 minutes in. And back down ice it goes. Right in behind the Sabre net. Connor Timmins is on it. Given away. Suzuki in front with the pass, and they score! Cole Caulfield with a 5-on-5 even strength goal has tied it at 1 goal apiece in the first. Back to the middle, Power with a low try, that never got through. Back to the line, Power passes over, Doan scores! And Buffalo have answered right back. Josh Doan with a shot off the left side, and it's 2-1 Sabres. And the Canadiens right back in, they score! Shot from the line is redirected. And this might be Texier who got a piece of it to steer it in, and we're not even 8 minutes in, and we've already got ourselves 4 goals in the game. Samuelson through center ice. Down the left side through the middle for Hellenis. He bobbled it, got the shot away, and he scores!
Next save wins. We'll just need one here tonight eventually. This might be one that Dobesh wants back.
To the attacking zone. Cross ice feed. There's the shot. And a kick save made by Jakub Dobesh. He denied. Koch to Hellenis. He was looking for his second of the night.
That next save was really important for Dobesh. He's got to be careful not to be over aggressive.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. I'm Mitch Go with Peter Frionis. The Sabres lead the Canadiens 3-2 after the first period of play. Your first period scoring summary, 2 minutes in. Jason Zucker with his first of the postseason from Jack Quinn and Connor Timmins. 1-1 game at 6:31. It was Cole Caulfield, his fourth of the postseason. Nick Suzuki and Juraj Slavkovsky get assists. 7:45, Josh Doan, his third from Owen Power, made 2-1 Buffalo. 2-2 at 7:54, just 9 seconds later. Alexander Texier scores his third. Alexander Carrier and Philippe Danault get assists on that one. And then at 10:15, Konsta Helenius scores his first career postseason goal from Matthias Samuelsson and Rasmus Dahlin. Gallo and Frionis with you, and it's time for the first intermission roundtable. We have Mark Denis calling the game alongside Victor Finley tonight. Mark, for starters, obviously I want to ask you about the goaltending here for Montreal. Dobesh did seem to calm down a little bit and weather the storm. How much and how hard do you think Montreal would have contemplated, though, making a change after 3 goals on 4 shots?
The way Dobesh has played in the last regular season stretch and in these playoffs, I don't think it's an option at this point. But after the 3rd goal, you're definitely thinking about what's next, right? There can't be a 4th one. So you're looking at your goalie for an answer. I think we all collectively like what we saw afterwards. But, you know, early on, everybody's looking for their bearings. The man-on-man is not tight enough in the defensive zone. Now, all of a sudden, what happens when your goalie's not making saves, you're backing off the blue line, you're allowing entries, and now there's room in the high slot. And that goes for both teams, by the way. I really like when Montreal's game was simpler in the first period. I thought that's when they generated their most of their chances, but Buffalo really playing with confidence right now. And it was really important for Dobesh to have his own pushback after allowing the 3rd goal. I think the first 2, you can check them to traffic to crazy start. The 3rd one settled everybody down. Weirdly enough, settled everybody down, including Dobesh, who was the most important person in that equation.
Now, during the first period, you mentioned how through the early portion of that game, Buffalo was the better team. Why did they separate themselves, in what areas was it?
They were able to pin the Montreal Canadiens in their own zone more often than not. That's what I saw there. I think when I'm talking about simplicity, it means creating races in neutral zone. Montreal didn't. It means getting the puck behind the last line of defense. Montreal didn't. Buffalo, it's not like they had a dump and chase approach. It's just that they played so much in the offensive zone. The ozone time of possession was 5-3 for Buffalo late in that period. That's indicative of the type of period that we saw. Prolonged shifts in your own zone are never a good thing. And when all of a sudden you're just off keel a tad in that man-on-man system that they play, we saw how quickly things can turn. So that's where I thought, and maybe for the first time since game 1 of this series, that we saw Buffalo dictate the way the first period was played.
Mark, how big was it for the first line to get a 5-on-5 goal, the 3 players on the first line touching the puck on that one? I love the patience by Nick Suzuki for waiting for that seam to open up to Caulfield. But just getting a 5-on-5 goal when it's been such a talking point.
Yeah, well, you know, you don't score 51 goal by fluke in the NHL. You do because you know where to find the net, you know how to get it done, and it becomes a weight heavy on your shoulders when you can't for 11 games straight, right? So it was important. It was important for that line. I thought they reacted well off the turnover. First of all, they created a turnover. Then it's a quick and a fast touch by Slavkovsky and the patience by Suzuki. You just mentioned it. And then the goal scorer finding a goal-scoring area. I'd like to see Caulfield there a tad more. But it should go a long way. Here's a player now all of a sudden finding a groove, opening up Luukkonen late in the first period of the last game, now finding the back of the net 5-on-5. I think this can go a long way. If that line gets going 5-on-5, I strongly believe this is not going to just realize Peter Vrionis' crazy thought about Caulfield finding the back of the net 5-on-5, but it also may turn this series into Montreal's favor.
Well, it's not that crazy. It happened a lot during the regular season.
You called it a crazy prediction.
Yeah, I guess so. So one thing that I'm paying attention to here, Mark, is the face-off circle. Yet again, the Canadiens have the advantage, 61% in that first period. Is that an area that you circle that could maybe help lead them back into this game and maybe come out as the winners at the end of the day?
Well, a face-off win is puck possession, so there's no doubt. And they're a puck possession team. Bringing Philippe Danault really helped out. So now you have Suzuki and Evans that are pretty efficient. On the right side, you have Danault that can do it on the left side. Obviously, it goes a long way. So, yes, it's an area that they still need to focus on. But I really want them to spend less time in their D zone. I haven't liked how they've reacted so far in the first period. And to me, above and beyond, winning faceoffs needs to translate into better exits, faster out of their zone in the second and third period.
Thank you, Mark.
Pleasure. I'm having a blast.
Sounds like it. There's Mark Denis calling the game alongside Victor Finley. That was the first intermission roundtable. I'm Mitch Gell with Peter Frionis. The Sabres lead the Canadiens 3-2 after the first period of play. Zucker, Hellenis, and Doan with the goals for Buffalo, Texier, and Caulfield for Montreal. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Montreal Canadiens hockey on TSN 690.
You're listening to the home of sports in Montreal. TSN 690, CKGM, and iHeart Radio Station.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
For 60 years, Delmar has delivered excellence. Strikes, delays, tariffs, challenge accepted. With global reach, smart tech, and supply chain mavens, Delmar's proactive approach ensures your cargo keeps moving. DelmarCargo.com. Logistics made simple.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. 3-2 Buffalo leads Montreal after the first period of play. Let's get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard. How about PWHL action? Montreal Victoire up against Ottawa in the final. They have game one right now. First period also wrapped up, just like the Montreal Canadiens game. It is 0-0 in the first intermission. Ottawa with the shots edge after the first period of play, leading Montreal 10-5. NHL scoreboard in about an hour and a half, so 90 minutes from now. You have Game 6 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks. Vegas leads the series 3-2, so a win tonight for Vegas would punch their ticket to the Western Conference Final. Winner of the series will advance to play against the Colorado Avalanche. Coming up next, second period play between Buffalo and Montreal. Habs trail 3-2. Victor Finley and Mark Denis with the call on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SR Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by La Cache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
About 45 seconds away from puck drop in the start of period number 2 here in Game 5. With the series tied at 2, the Sabres with a 3-2 advantage after 20 minutes of play. Victor Finley with Mark Denis on the call tonight. Mark, we've never had a goalie as a color commentator on the show, at least not since I've taken over here calling games. So I feel like I got to ask you, after watching 5 goals in the first period as a member of the goalie union, does that make you cringe a little bit? You feel a little pain?
I do. I feel for the athletes. There's no doubt about it. The last thing you want is to let your team down. I don't think any of those goalies have caused major trouble, but they definitely needed to bounce back. And I believe they have. But both teams are playing very nervous. Instead of wanting to score the next goal, none of these teams want to allow the next one. So that could be an issue going forward. This is going to be very interesting. The Montreal Canadiens need to break the puck out of their zone quicker in the second period.
Center ice for the opening faceoff here in period number 2. The Habs win it. They are moving from left to right in this second stanza as we get a whistle 5 seconds in here for an offside at the Sabre blue line.
What an acquisition Josh Doan has been for the Buffalo Sabres. Question marks all around when Kevin Adams trades Peterka to Utah. Little did we know that Josh Doan was going to be the type of player that brought some identity to that third line that's been their best line so far in these playoffs. 25 goals this season for Josh Doan.
Sabres back into their own zone. Shane Doan is in the crowd tonight to watch his kid play. And Shane is now a free agent as well. I just found out the other day that he is no longer a member of the Maple Leafs organization, their front office. As the Canadiens go back into their own zone, here's Mike Matheson out there with Alexander Carrier. Play down the far side, another offside at the line, and Texier had some speed going in, but Anderson just a little too far ahead.
That line's been good for the Montreal Canadiens. Dano with Texier and Anderson, not just because Texier scored a goal here tonight, but they've been able to neutralize most of what Tage Thompson and his line has tried to do 5-on-5 so far in this series.
Mentioned in the intermission, better face-off night for Montreal too. Dano is 5 for 6. Canadiens actually did lose the face-off battle in Game 4. They were 47.5%, but games 1 to 3, they were 60.6 in the series. Big face-off advantage over Buffalo. So Sabres play it in from center. Dovich behind his net, moves it over to Lane Hudson. Canadiens to neutral territory. Slavkovsky plays it in near side, picked up by Bowen Byram. And Buffalo come out through center. Here's Benson. Over the Montreal line, weaves his way to the far side. He'll toss it down low. Comes around for Montreal, and it's slipped all the way down ice. That's going to go for an icing call here, a minute 10 into the second.
Here's another example of Montreal having issues with its breakouts tonight. This one becomes an icing. Now all of a sudden, Lindy Ruff doesn't care about matchups anymore. He's looking to deploy. That could be an issue. Now the top line's on the ice with the Montreal Canadiens. It's early in the period. Probably won't hurt you as much, but you got to be careful moving forward.
Face-off glove sign on Dobish. And it's won back by Montreal. Lane Hudson flips it to center. Slavkovsky in over the Buffalo line. Near side, Caulfield, low shot, sharp angle. That's no trouble for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and there's no rebound here as he hangs on.
Luukkonen, 27, really settled into game 4 when he was thrown in. I thought he had a nervous start at the Bell Center. Really played well in the second and third period. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts. We talked about Dobish quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see how Luukkonen reacts as well. He's prone to give up a lot of rebounds. So Montreal may think about shooting on the pads.
He's a big man. 6'5", 217 pounds. Takes up a lot of the net and moves pretty well too. As the Sabres win the D-zone faceoff, Rasmus Dahlin skips it to center. Ryan McLeod plays it in the rest of the way. And Buffalo try and pick it up off the forecheck. It'll be handled by Carrier. To the line, not out. Dahlin held it in, and a shot from Malenstein was blocked by Gooley. And that is a couple big blocks Gooley has had in this game thus far. Habs played into Sabre territory. Near side, Dahlin fanned on the clearing attempt, but he picks up the puck from Jake Evans, and he'll toss it around the boards, and Jordan Greenway plays it out down the ice as Malenstein battles for it in Habs territory. He'll move it to the far hash marks where Ryan McLeod bumps it back down low for Jordan Greenway. We've seen plenty of this fourth line for Buffalo tonight. Lindy Ruff not hesitating to use all 4 lines in game 5. As here's Samuelson with a shot up high. That's stopped by Dobish, and he'll hang on to that for the whistle as Greenway gets into it a little bit with Carrier after the whistle.
Saw Greenway give Dobish a couple of taps on the pads there. Not trying to break the puck loose, but trying to provoke something from Carrier, who protected his goalie really well. Once again, this is a miscue on a breakout that forces Gooley to lay down on the ice and sacrifice the body for a big block. But one missed breakout leads to a couple of turnovers and another prolonged shift. In the second period, you have to be careful. You're far away from your bench here. Long changes can hurt you.
So officially right now, they've got 2 blocks for Caden Gooley. And if that is the case, both of them have come off of good chances.
2 big ones, yeah.
Nick Suzuki in for the D-zone faceoff. It'll be the Norris Doan Benson line for Buffalo, and they take control off the drop. Benson bumps it to the line. Samuelson, long shot. That one carries wide. There's a big screen in front of Dobish. Not sure he ever saw it. Far side corner. Bowen Byram pinching in. Lost it here to Mike Matheson. And now bobbled in behind the Habs net by Hudson. Give it away in the slot. Far side try. That's fanned on by Norris. And again, the Habs here having some trouble with puck management in their own zone. Suzuki up the wall. That's given away and flung wide by Doan. Sabres with it at the line. Samuelson behind the net for Benson. Down to the far wing for Doan. Down low to Benson again. Crafty move for Benson. Tried to center for Norris, and he spins a shot wide of the net. Sabres have been in the attacking zone for almost a minute now as they'll move it back down low. Benson having another great shift for Buffalo. Centering try comes out to the far side for Bowen Byram. Byram with a shot, blockered away. Habs trying to clear it, can't. Taken away by Slavkovsky. Bounced off the boards to Caulfield, far side. Finally launched out through center by Lane Hudson, and the Habs will get fresh legs on the ice. Buffalo right back in, though. Here's Thompson, breakaway, and Dobish gets over to his left to take it away with a pad stop and hang on for the whistle.
The Habs open the door to a Buffalo quick transition. A long shift. All you're thinking about is going for a change. Second period, Tage Thompson forgotten behind the last line of defense. on a breakaway all alone. Great patience by Jakub Dobeš to follow him from right to left as Thompson tries to use his long reach and the shot to elevate that puck over the pad, but Dobeš follows him all the way to the left side of his crease.
Habs win the D-zone face-off and play it to center. So tough start for Dobeš tonight, but doesn't look rattled at all here in the second period. Comes up with a big save to bail out his team after what was a bit of a nightmare shift. As the Habs go all the way back into their own zone. Here's Noah Dobson. Bothered by Peyton Krebs in the forecheck. Thompson takes it away. Up the near side, Thompson to the slot, dishes off, far side, back across. That's mishandled by Connor Timmins, and look out, here's Anderson. He'll get to it far side. Won't have the angle for a break, though. And it's taken away by Tage Thompson. Thompson snaps it back around, and now to center it goes, where it's picked up by Philip Deneau. And handled by Texier back in his own zone. We got 15-15 to go in the second period. Still 3-2 Buffalo. Carrier shoots it in from center. Timmins behind the Buffalo net. Played this one up off the glass, and it caught a piece of the netting out of play.
The one thing Buffalo could have done to try to gain the upper hand on Montreal in that long shift was outchange them. They're in the O-zone. They're right by their bench. Try to get steamrolling. Try to get another line involved. The Benson-Norris line did a great job keeping them there, but they stayed out too long. Get the Thompson line involved. Get them there quicker, and who knows what happens. I think they just dodged a bullet there, the Montreal Canadiens, to be honest, but they needed Dobeš to bail them out on the Thompson breakaway.
I feel the same way as you do, Mark. I consider that to be a bullet dodge for the Canadiens. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. Off an offense's own face-off, Jake Evans in, and forget about that, he's going to get tossed. So it's Newhook versus Ryan McLeod. And off the draw, scramble for it, loose in front of the Sabre net. It is corralled by Buffalo, and it's guided to center by Beck Malenstein. Hudson back on it. Launched it to center. Newhook sweeps it in as Rasmus Dahlin will play that off the glass and out to center ice. Handled by Dobson. He'll snap it right back in as he took a hit. Greenway to center for Buffalo, and looking to spring Beck Malenstein through the middle. That was picked off, and the Habs fire it back in. Near side, Demidov. Spun down low. Evans back up high to the line. Here's Matheson under pressure, and Jordan Greenway almost able to get that to center for a break. Instead, he's forced back into his own end. And now played to center where Ryan McLeod feeds it over to Josh Doan. Far wing tries a shot. That's muffled by Carrier. Far corner, Carrier. Passes over to Jake Evans. Habs will flip it out to center. Luke Shed back ahead for Buffalo. To center ice, carried over the line. Here's Norris through the middle, and he'll send a shot that missed just wide. As it's settled down by Suzuki with 13:38 to go in the second. Still 3-2 Buffalo lead. This is coughed up at center. Here's Benson far side. Twisting in, Benson moves it down low. Jack Quinn gets away from Nick Suzuki. Quinn off the wing. Carries in, trying to go behind the net, is back in front. Norris couldn't get his shot through. Now Quinn, one-time try. That one goes off of Nick Suzuki. Another good shift in the O-zone here for the Sabres. Here's Hellenes near side. No one in front, he'll pass it back. Quinn, as the Sabres are completing a change, they keep it in. Another failed clearing attempt by Noah Dobson, now picked up by Slavkovsky, and he'll safely get it to center ice. Carried all the way into the Sabre zone. Far wing, Slavkovsky cycles down low. Taken away by Consta Hellenes. 12:42 to go in the second. Sabres lead by one, and here goes Owen Power driving into the attacking zone. Turns back to the line. Power, long shot. Missed that one wide. And Caden Gooley Starts ahead. He's pressured by Zucker. Gets it through center ice. Here go the Habs. Chance developing in front. Little backhander from Joe Veleno is thrown wide of the net. Now loose in the far corner. Veleno back on it. Worked up to the far side point. Habs move it right back around. And Jason Zucker for Buffalo will punch it out down the ice. This will go for an icing.
Another long shift in the D zone. But a great pushback by the Montreal Canadiens. That was a great maneuver by Joe Veleno. Just missed the net there. He sees the lane towards the net. And to me, that's very important. There hasn't been any penalties so far in this game. But Buffalo has struggled when Montreal has been able to drive the net with or without the puck. This time, Veleno drives the net with the puck, just misses on the right side of Luukkonen on a backhand attempt.
Face-off win for Montreal, left side. Hudson dancing in, center, scores! Josh Anderson! And the Montreal Canadiens off the face-off have tied the game at 3 apiece.
And guess who? Lane Hudson again. He generates offense out of nothing. This is an ozone face-off win. He eludes pressure at the blue line and finds the only open stick on the ice. And that's Josh Anderson to the left of Luukkonen. Obviously, everybody's attention is on Lane Hudson because he's a magician. And when everybody looks at Lane Hudson looks at Josh Anderson's stick. That's a tap-in for the power forward. Now, are they looking at goaltender interference?
Lindy Ruff is looking down at his monitor, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a challenge. We play on, and Josh Anderson has officially tied this game on his 3rd of the Stanley Cup playoffs from Lane Hudson. I believe Philip Deneau will get an assist for that too. He won the face-off to facilitate the entire play. And just like that, we have ourselves a tie game once again in 5. As here goes Josh Anderson back in behind the Sabre net. So the Canadiens have not led this game, but every time the Sabres have scored, the Habs have found a way to answer back to tie it. The lead has never been more than 1 for Buffalo. As Peyton Krebs in behind his own net, he's under pressure, out in front. Once again, it's the Tex J. Anderson-Deneau line trying to jam something through. And the Sabres will play it to center with 11:18 remaining in the second period. Here go the Habs back in, through the middle. Demidov back and forth with a shot. That's fought off by Luukkonen. And trickles back to the near corner where it's picked up by Demidov. Demidov trying to open up space in the wing with Byram. Dishes off to Newhook. Fan on the shot. And the Sabres will get it out to center ice. Alex Tuch trying to shoot it in. Has it stripped away, and here goes Dobson quickly down the other way. Drops off, Newhook, near side. Jake Evans with a shot that goes wide off his stick. Back behind the Buffalo net. Gets chipped over to Evans. Right side with Demidov. Evans, Demidov through the middle, wrister. That one just missed. This has been a dangerous shift for Ivan Demidov. As the Sabres get it to center ice. Carried in, here goes McLeod left side. Lost the handle on it as he tried to cut in behind the net. Back up the wing, it's played to center by Daw. 10:08 to go in period number 2. Just about halfway through game 5. Shots 15-13 Montreal, score tied at 3 as the Sabres handle it in their own zone. Played out through center. This is tipped, no icing. Jack Guy, he's ridden into the end boards by Beck Malenstein as it's floated back the other way. Sabre territory. Buffalo just played right back down ice. That's going to go for an icing call.
A rare shift by Jack Guy there, but he gets hit pretty hard. Demidov had a tremendous shift. 2 great opportunities for him, and a great save by Luukkonen with the right arm. Now, Demidov is very predictable on the power play. I have liked his 5-on-5 game much better in this second round series. I think he was looking for space that wasn't there in the first round against Tampa. More noticeable to play With a speedster like Newhook and a very responsible center iceman like Evans, I think that has helped them tremendously.
Habs in the attacking zone here. It's the top line on the ice. Suzuki tries to throw it down low. Demidov has a pair of shots tonight on 3 attempts. So here's Hudson up top. Far side, there's a drive from Dobson that missed the mark. And the Sabres poke it to center. Hudson back in a hurry. Able to play it back down the far side. Here's Slavkovsky, moves in, tried to set it up for Caulfield. Unable to do so as the Habs hold it in at the blue line. Dobson right side, lots of space. Passes off. Suzuki with a shot, hit his own man. And Slavkovsky got a little backhander in that stopped by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Now flown back to center. Canadiens fired in. Zach Boldukin on the forecheck. Taken away by Norris. Given away, though, to Doc, and his shot is stopped by Luukkonen and redirected out of play over the glass. Canadiens putting on some pressure here. They've got a little fire in their games. It's tying it up. Josh Anderson from Hudson and Deneau at 8:01 of period number 2. We are tied at 3 in Game 5 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5TV with RDS and more sports channels. Plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. Yeah, put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
8:45 to go in the second period of Game 5. We have ourselves a tie game at 3 goals apiece. And the Canadiens here, Mark, over the last couple of shifts, looking more dangerous, spending more time in Buffalo zone.
They've picked it up. They've picked it up. Their transition is much better. They're getting to Luukkonen as well. They're driving the net. Their entries are better. And is there anything Lane Hudson can't do? He keeps on amazing us. We knew he could find passing lanes. We knew he could be shifty. Plays good defensively and has found the right timing to pick his spots. He's been tremendous. He's a point-a-game player.
Regular season, postseason, hasn't mattered for Lane Hudson. Stays productive for the Canadiens as the Sabres come away to center ice with it. Consta Hellenis is out there with Jason Zucker. As they drive into the Habs zone, this is taken away by Kirby Dach, and he'll skate the other way through center. And offside at the Buffalo line as Owen Power had broken up the play.
The reason you want to spend less time in your zone was just apparent there. What happens now? Buffalo's trying to press. Zucker is responsible for that last giveaway, and that feeds right into Montreal's forte, which is their speed under transition. That's what you're looking to accomplish. That's why you don't want to spend time in your own zone. You can defend all you want, but something needs to be said about playing easier minutes in the neutral and the offensive zone.
Shot 16-14 in favor of the Canadiens. 8:23 to go in the second, and a tie game in Game 5 as we'll have a neutral zone face-off here. It'll be Evans, Newhook, and Demidov on the ice. Tuck, Krebs, and Thompson for the Buffalo Sabres. Thompson had a breakaway chance earlier in this period. How big does that save from Dobish look now? As a shoot in here takes a bit of a weird bounce, but Buffalo handles that okay.
That was a page out of Tage Thompson's book.
As Thompson goes to center and throws it over to Bowen Byram. Moving in, Byram tried to play it to the net. That took a redirect off of Evans. And now all the way back out through center ice. Connor Timmins will get to it. He'll throw it back around. Byram under pressure. He lost it to Jake Evans. Evans to the line. Carrier in front. Big stop from Luukkonen. And he's got the puck underneath him as Ivan Demidov was looking for his first goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's robbed on that one by Luukkonen. Carrier at the point. Set him up, just can't find a way through Luukkonen here, and this game stays tied at 3 on Habs Hockey at TSN 690.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by Essor Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. Essor Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
7:42 to go in the second, 3-3 tie, and Mark, just prior to the break, Ivan Demidov almost had his first of the playoffs.
This is his third good look of the second period. This is his third shot from the slot. He's more noticeable. He's more threatening offensively. It's just a matter of time before he breaks through.
Gets stoned by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on his latest attempt. As we will face off to Luukkonen's blocker side. Danault's going to get tossed, so it'll be Texier and take the draw versus Konsta-Helenius. It's one back by Montreal. Hudson up high. Dishes off. Shot from Anderson. Loose in front for Danault, and he rolled that one just wide of the cage. Again, this line threatening for the Canadiens. Here's Hudson. Pirouettes around Thompson at the line. Anderson back up high, tried to fling it to the net. Broke it up by Buffalo and played to center. Here goes Dobson, right back in through the middle. Dishes off, shot incoming is snapped up by the glove hand of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and there's no rebound on this.
Now they're building momentum. Now the Montreal Canadiens are spending more time in the Buffalo zone. All the Sabres can do is try to retrieve a puck in the neutral zone, but Montreal's transition has been much better in this second half here. Or I guess early in the second period there was an issue,
right?
But now they're getting going.
Sabres had a couple lengthy shifts in the offensive zone, but since their last one, we haven't really seen a whole lot here from Buffalo in the last 6-7 minutes worth of game time. As we got a whistle off the draw, and we're going to have what appears to be our first penalty of this game. Hard to believe, Mark, we've had 6 goals halfway through this game, and none of them have been off of special teams.
This looks like an interference call.
High stick.
Oh, it's a high stick.
As if we haven't seen enough of those in this series. Juraj Slafkovsky will get the gate.
That is right off an offensive zone 1 face-off by the Montreal Canadiens. Slafkovsky stick catches Doan up high.
Didn't get him by much, but it just managed to graze Josh Doan enough. And this will be a power play tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. Their first try with a 5-on-4. They had a couple power play goals, including the game winner from Benson in Game 4. Thompson in on the face-off for the Sabres. It's won by Montreal to the corner. Flung around the boards and all the way out down the ice.
This special team battle will be of the utmost importance, especially if we're only going to see 1 or 2 power plays a side.
Here's Dahlin. Drops it back for Tage Thompson. Now it's center. Here's Thompson, far wing. Thompson moves it around to the near side. Josh Doan is there. He'll bring it in behind the Montreal net, then gave it away right to Matheson. And that snapped all the way back down the ice.
Matheson has been the Habs' most valuable penalty killer all season.
Another big play right there to kill off some more time. Minute 17 to go here on the man advantage for the Sabres. Far side Quinn into the attacking zone. Puck bounces around in front of the Hab net. Gooley tried to settle it down, but the Sabres will pick it up. Looking to get set here for the first time on the man advantage. Thompson drops it off. Left side wing. It's handled by Quinn. Off to Thompson. Sabres in formation. Up high. Dahlin over to Thompson. Back to Dahlin. Thompson near side point. Shuffles off to Quinn. Moves out in front. That was deflected by Benson just wide of the net. Now corralled by Dahlin. Dishes off far side. Quinn down low to Benson. Benson back in front. Don't got a piece of it. Pad save Dobish. Here's Thompson with a one-timer. That was blocked by Anderson. And it's fired down the ice by Montreal.
That one left to mark on Anderson, but what a great way to sacrifice the body at the end of the penalty killing shift.
Just 10 seconds to go in the power play for Buffalo. It's center off the drop. Here's Ryan McLeod. Right in over the line. Roller on Dobish. That's knocked away. And that's going to be all for the 5-on-4. The Habs able to kill off the penalty against Slavkovsky back on the ice. 5 minutes to play in the second. Still tied at 3. Here's Owen Power. Left side, Habs zone. Throws it wide. Comes around for Jason Zucker. Back to the near corner. Power got to it. Gave it away, though, to Lane Hudson. Sabres now into the slot. There's a shot from Jason Zucker, and Dobish is able to find that through traffic and squeeze it tight for the whistle. 4:40 to go in our second period of play. Habs get a big penalty kill off the first power play of the night. We are still tied at 3 on Habs Hockey at TSN 690.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
I've always wondered what kind of tires they put on the Zamboni.
I bet they're not summer tires.
Maybe all season?
I doubt it.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Jeez, feels like the Habs are always on the road.
I hope they have good tires.
They fly.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Be on the sunny side of the street at the Sir Winston Churchill Pub and Winnie's Restaurant and Bar, your spring fever headquarters in the city. Soak up the vibe with refreshing drinks, delicious bites, and great company all season long. 1459 Crescent.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
4:40 to go in the second period of play. We are tied at 3 in Game 5. And Mark, the special teams get their first look in this game just prior to the break. The Canadiens get the first PK of the night.
And they looked good, just aggressive enough. They have to be careful with the second post bank in, I guess, that the Buffalo Sabres are trying to hit. They're almost hiding a player right against that second post just for a tip or a redirect.
They tried it twice with Benson and Doan. Couldn't get it to go either time. Sabres have it now in the offensive zone. 5-on-5. Here's Benson, far side. Stick handles. Tries a shot. Good block by Caden Gooley, who's got another one tonight. As Josh Norris carries it around. He'll fling it back in behind the Montreal. And that puck is loose in the corner. And no one down low saw it. So Slavkovsky just floats in to pick it up. And he'll take his time here as he spots Nick Suzuki, and the Habs roll it to center. Now fired in by Gooley. Owen Power stretching through the neutral zone. It's tipped in. No icing. Dobson right back down the other way. Here's Demonov right side. Little space shot. Loose in front. And they score! Demonov with the shot. It trickled through Luukkonen, and it looks like it's going to be Evans who got the last touch on it to give Montreal their first lead of the night.
It looks like this may be Jake Evans' second career playoff goal, as he's going to push that puck above the goal line on another great look and great move by Demidov. Demidov comes on the right side, close to the goal line, power move against Samuelson. Bringing the puck to the net, that puck squeezes right under the left arm of Luukkonen for Evans to push it through.
So Demidov comes about an inch away from his first playoff goal. I think he'll be perfectly fine to pick up the assist on this one, as it's a big go-ahead goal for Jake Evans. His first of this playoff run. You mentioned Marcus' second career Stanley Cup playoff goal. He paid the price for the first one, you might remember.
Absolutely, dearly paid in an empty netter.
Mark Scheifele took a piece out of him. As here come the Sabres in the attacking zone. This is stolen by Montreal. Flipped down the ice. Foot race for it. Texier will beat out the icing call. 3:03 to play in the second period. Habs have their first lead in Game 5. Demidov behind the Sabre net. Connects with Jake Evans. Right side to the line. Here's Matheson. Back across for Evans. Carrier now to the right side hash marks. Demidov off the boards. And we got a penalty coming up against Buffalo. And the Habs, with all the momentum here, in front 4-3, are going to get a chance to widen the gap to 2 as Tage Thompson is going off.
Buffalo 72, 2 minutes cross-checking.
You just talked about momentum. This is exactly how you build it. Another shift in the ozone for Montreal in the Evans line, and a reckless play by Tage Thompson. When he gets frustrated, just reckless with his stick. This is a cross-check to the face of Jake Evans. And Montreal deploys their first power play.
That's another awful penalty by the Buffalo Sabres. They got away with most of them in Game 4. We'll see if the Habs can make them pay tonight on their first power play. They were 1 for 7 in Game 4, 4 for 20 in this series. As here's Slavkovsky out in front. They score! Nick Suzuki, power play goal. And the Montreal Canadiens get a couple of quick strikes late in the second period to go in front 5-3.
We talked about discipline in capital letter. Tage Thompson, reckless, with a high stick cross-check to the face of Jake Evans, right off a face-off win in the ozone. Slavkovsky wins a battle, finds the captain with a one-timer far side that beats Luukkonen. The battle Slavkovsky won against Owen Power. Deep in Buffalo zone. A one-handed pass to Nick Suzuki with a perfect one-timer.
And Suzuki, who is so good on the power play all year, comes through again on the man advantage for Montreal. They didn't need much time to convert on this one. As the Evans goal is officially Demidov and Newhook on the assists at 16-15. Slavkovsky will pick up the primary assist here on the Suzuki power play goal. That's his 4th of the Stanley Cup playoffs at 17:33 from Slavkovsky and Lane Hudson, who's got a pair of helpers tonight. So the Sabres in a hole now. Minute 52 to go in the second period. Down 5-3. Here they go to center. Costa Hellenis. In over the line. Far side. Hellenis to the corner. Throws it back up the wing. Taken away by Montreal to center. Suzuki weaving in on Byram. Suzuki throws it wide of the net. As the puck rolls back around to the corner. Back in behind Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's net. And the Sabres get on it and skate to center. Alex Tuch tried to move across ice. That's broken up, and back to center it goes for Rasmus Dahlin. Sabres in again with Peyton Krebs left side. Played around the boards. Up high it goes for Norris. Norris, long wrister that hit a body in front. Canadiens move it off the boards out through center. We got 49 seconds to play in period number 2. Bowen Byram up to center ice. Snaps it in. Puck rides around to the far wing. Benson tied up by Alex Newhook. Puck is still jammed up along the boards. Finally wrestled free by Buffalo. Habs take it away though, and Newhook will burst ahead to center ice. Now Suzuki in over the line. Hands off to Demidov. Back across. Wanted Newhook. That's broken up by Owen Power. Here goes Power to center. 10 seconds to go in the period. Sabres filter it in behind the Montreal net as Carrier gets to it. He'll get checked along the boards by Matthias Samuelsson. And time's going to run out, and the Montreal Canadiens, who weathered the storm a little bit to start this second period, Mark, come back with 3 unanswered to charge ahead and take a 2-goal lead.
After a few very tough shifts to start that second period, this was a slow but an overall takeover by the Montreal Canadiens, winning every aspect of this game, including the very small special team battle.
Canadiens win the shot count in that second period, 11-7. Most importantly, they outscore Buffalo 3-0. Josh Anderson, Jake Evans, Nick Suzuki go back to back to back. And the Montreal Canadiens, who entered this period down 3-2, will go to period number 3, try to close out game 5 with a 5-3 advantage over Buffalo. We got the second intermission roundtable coming your way next on the other side of the break here on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Hi, I'm Dan Robertson, and I'd like to take the time today to talk about something I truly believe in. Campbell versus Gallo on TSN 690. 2 men that define the word chemistry, a class they both failed in high school. With their powers combined, it's called must-listen sports radio. It has all my favorite things. Campbell and Gallo. I support Campbell versus Gallo, and you should too. Weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on TSN 690.
This ad is paid for and approved by Campbell versus Gallo and unpaid associates.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Scoring Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Passion, pride, history. The Canadiens are playoff bound and the fans are cheering. Podium Mini Entrepot, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens, is with you all the way. For your storage needs, try 4 weeks free. Visit depodium.com for details.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Buffalo right back in, though. Here's Thompson, breakaway, and Dobish gets over to his left to take it away with a pad stop and hang on for the whistle. Face-off win for Montreal, left side. Hudson dancing in, center, scores! Josh Anderson! And the Montreal Canadiens off the face-off have tied the game at 3 apiece. Evans to the line, Carrier in front, big stop from Luukkonen, and he's got the puck underneath him as Ivan Demidov was looking for his first goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's robbed on that one by Luukkonen. Dobson right back down the other way. Here's Demidov right side, little space, shot, loose in front, and they score! Demidov with the shot. It trickled through Luukkonen, and it looks like it's going to be Evans who got the last touch on it to give Montreal their first lead of the night. 4 for 20 in this series as here's Slavkovsky up front, they score! Nick Suzuki, power play goal. And the Montreal Canadiens get a couple of quick strikes late in the second period to go in front 5-3.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. Habs lead the Buffalo Sabres by a score of 5-3 after 2 periods of play. Your second period scoring summary, all Habs here. 8:01, it was Josh Anderson's third from Lane Hudson and Philippe Danault. What a great play by Hudson setting that one up. Well, we're used to things like that with Lane Hudson. 16-15, Jake Evans gets his first of the postseason. Almost a goal for Ivan Demidov, but he has to settle for an assist. Alex Newhook also factoring in on the score sheet on that one. And at 17:33, Nick Suzuki with his fourth goal. It was a power play goal from Uri Slavkovsky and Lane Hudson. It is time for the second intermission roundtable. Mitch Gallo with Peter Vrionis, and we have our play-by-play man, Victor Finley, with us. Victor, considering how that game was trending, the amount of zone time Buffalo had early in that second period and the way that they played in the first period, how surprised are you that the score is 5-3 for Montreal after 2 periods of play?
Not in the least bit surprised, because that's been Montreal's game all year. Right, weather the storm and then take advantage of the opportunity. And I don't look at this period and say, you know, the Habs are the better team for most of the period. So, you know, we've seen them get dominated at times for a greater stretch of time and still find a way to come out winning the period or winning the game. So I would say I'm not surprised by the fact that the Habs kind of weather the storm early, first 5, 6, 7 minutes or so of the period, and then, you know, pretty clearly here, the better of the two teams in the last 12 or 13 minutes of that second.
Now, Victor, it was well documented in the first intermission roundtable how Jakub Dobish was not having a good night. Makes that massive save on Tage Thompson and seems to have maybe shifted the momentum back the Canadiens' way. What can you say about everybody just seeming to chip in at some point throughout this entire playoff run? It's been everybody in the lineup that has contributed in some way or another.
Yep, well, look, you mentioned Dobish with a big save off of Tage Thompson. That could have been a 2-goal spread right there for Buffalo. Instead, it's still a 1-goal game, and then it's
it's Josh Anderson who comes back and ties it, and he is, along with Philip Deneau on his line, and Texier, who has a goal tonight as well. They've been generating offense for Montreal. Then it's Jake Evans from Demidov and Newhook, so everybody gets a touch on that line. And then it's the power play with Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Lane Hudson again. So the comeback in that second period alone with the 3 goals, they all come from different lines, different players within the lineup. It's not like they're just relying on their goalie to keep it close or their power play to keep them in the game. It's a combination of so many different things. So I think that's a real positive if you're Montreal.
All right, Victor, how about Ivan Demidov? He gets an assist on the Jake Evans marker there in the second period. And it looked like it was almost going to trickle over the line. It wasn't going to have enough juice had Evans not tapped it in. But how about this for a stat? Ivan Demidov has had 32 scoring chances so far in the playoffs. That is the most scoring chances of anybody playing in the playoffs without scoring a goal.
Yeah, that I would say that matches the eye test here, especially in this series, right? There was less out there in the Tampa Bay series. But, look, I think Demidov, through 5 games now, has, at least in 3 of them, looked dangerous. I think you could argue 4 of them as well. So, quiet start for him in the first, I thought, but he's come alive here, especially 5-on-5 in the second period of play. So there's no question here that, at least in my mind, he's overdue for that first playoff goal. And if things continue the way they are, he's going to get it before too long.
I'm running out of words to describe Lane Hudson and what he's able to do here on a nightly basis, Victor. I mean, you've called him plenty of times this year. You've followed this team for years now. This is year 3 or 3.
That's right, year 3.
Year 3 for you. So you're getting pretty familiar with this player. Like, is he still scratching the surface? Like, can he get better than what we're seeing right now?
Well, I think he can get better for sure, but I don't know how much better he's going to get offensively, right? I think the numbers are going to be. I think he's going to be an 80-point D-man for sure, if not more than that. We'll see how things kind of develop around him here and the way the game is played around the league. But, I mean, right now, he's when he's on his A game offensively, there's nobody better. Players can match it, but
nobody better.
In terms of passing and finding guys that are open or that aren't even apparently open, like I don't think there's anybody better right now in the game. I think there's guys that are as good or kind of right around that realm. You think of the Quinn Hugheses, Cale Makars, but at least in that one element of his game, look, I'm biased too because I've watched every single one of Lane Hudson's games. Maybe I'd be talking differently if I watched every single one of Cale Makar's games or every single one of Quinn Hughes' games, but that's just not possible, obviously. So I think in that one area he is truly world class, and in terms of where he's going to get better, it's going to be, I think, elements around all of that, and maybe consistency to a degree as well. But he's been phenomenal again.
Now, how about some of the storylines going into this game and how positive things have been for the Montreal Canadiens through 2 periods? Victor, you know what the discussion has been. 5-on-5 play for the top line. Cole Caulfield scores, check. Juraj Slavkovsky's play on the power play, and maybe he needed to be replaced after fumbling the puck a couple times in the previous game. He sets up Nick Suzuki. Check. So the Canadiens get a 5-on-5 goal from Caulfield, a power play goal from Nick Suzuki, and now everything that everybody was complaining about can be put to rest.
Well, isn't that the most Habs thing, though, this year, right? Like, all of a sudden, okay, well, the goaltending doesn't look too good. Well, then it figures itself out. Well, the power play doesn't look great. Well, then the power play figures itself out. And then if you're not getting a whole lot of depth scoring, well, then all of a sudden they are, right? Davidov hasn't found a way to get goals, but now he's going to get goals, or it looks like he's going to get goals, right? Caulfield's not getting goals. Now he's getting goals. So it really feels like throughout the entirety of the regular season and the Stanley Cup playoffs as well, for all the problems the Canadiens have had, and there have been problems throughout the season, they've always seemed to correct themselves one way or another. Like I know there's always going to be strengths and weaknesses the team has had, or a team has, but generally, the Habs have been, I think, incredibly good this season, or maybe incredibly fortunate, maybe a combo of both, of self-diagnosing and self-correcting a lot of the issues or a lot of the areas of the game that have been missing at times, and it's shown itself again tonight.
Surprised that we've only seen a penalty each so far through 2 periods?
Mildly surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit of a tighter game given what was on the line here, but look, it's kind of a weird high stick that Slavkovsky gets caught on. Like, I guess by the book it's a high stick, but it wasn't. Certainly not an egregious one, but we've seen a ton of those in the series so far.
Josh Doe made it seem egregious.
I know, he did. And then it was an egregious penalty by Tage Thompson. There's no question. That's not the first bad one he's taken this series. That is a self-inflicted wound by the Buffalo Sabres on that penalty. So that's the sign of a young team that's not playing a mature game. Whereas on the flip side, I thought the Canadiens were much more better than Buffalo was in that regard in period number 2.
Thank you, Victor.
You're welcome, Mitch.
Victor back with third period action, of course, as well. You'll hear from Victor during the Del Mar postgame show. I'm Mitch Go with Peter Frionis. Canadiens lead the Buffalo Sabres 5-3 after 2 periods of play. We'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard next.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Montreal Canadiens is expressly prohibited.
Catch everything soccer with Bell's Game Time Bundle.
What about every save? Every header? Tackle? Slide tackle?
Yep.
Penalty kick? Bicycle kick? Every celebration?
Watch every moment with 5 TV, with RDS and more sports channels, plus 500 internet, all for $99 a month. Includes autopay credit. Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour, October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result,
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No? What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Montreal Canadiens hockey. Habs lead the Buffalo Sabres 5-3 in Game 5. Again, you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard, PWHL final, Ottawa and Montreal, game number 1. That game in the third period now. The third period just started. Ottawa is up on Montreal by a score of 1-0. It was Rebecca Leslie with an unassisted goal. Coming up next, the third period between Buffalo and Montreal. Habs up 5-3. Victor Finley and Mark Denis with the call on the TSN 690 Habs Radio Network.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Back in Buffalo, the Canadiens are trying to close this game out tonight in period number 3 with a 2-goal advantage. 5-3 after 40 minutes of play. Victor Finley alongside Mark Denis on the call tonight. And Mark, rarely have we seen the Habs have a 2-goal spread to their favor go into the third period to try and close out a crucial playoff game.
And they cannot take their foot off the gas. They've just chased Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen from the net, scoring 5 in 40 minutes. In comes Alex Lyon. Take it to him as quickly as possible. He did not look good in the last 2 starts, games 2 and 3 against the Canadiens.
So Luukkonen gets pulled for the second time in the Stanley Cup playoffs, as he was pulled in game 2 against Boston, and then we didn't see him again until game 4 versus Montreal. He plays just 40 minutes tonight. Alex Lyon, the new goalie, in for Buffalo as we start this third period. The Habs moving right to left, trying to defend this 2-goal lead and bring home a 3-2 series lead to Montreal on Saturday. Here's Suzuki right into the Sabres zone. Swings it in behind the Buffalo net. Take it away by Josh Doan. And out to center. To the far side wing. Now there's a shot put high in the Montreal net by Zach Benson as he'll track it down near side. From the hash marks, low try. That's stopped by Dobish. Loose in front. And Lane Hudson able to block that. Another backhand try. That one just barely missed from Benson. Habs settle it down. Suzuki just flings it to center. And now here come the Habs. They got a 2-on-1. Slavkovsky's shot, and he put that one off the outside of the goal post. Buffalo back the other way. What a start to this period. We're 55 seconds into it. And Jakub Dobish is going to glove down a puck and give us our first stoppage.
The Sabres setting the tone, getting 2-3 scoring chances. A great block by Hudson, and then Benson on the back end corrals the puck in the slot, shoots it just wide over the blocker of Jakub Dobish. In comes Juraj Slavkovsky, 2-on-1. Samuelsson decides to skate backwards. That's a 2-on-1 off the post, right above the blocker of Alex Lyon. That's his first action.
Buffalo back into their own zone. They'll play it to center. Here's Alex Tuch down the far wing. Tries to spin away from Matheson, and he lost the puck, and here goes Texier the other way. Far side, Krebs off the boards, played back to center. It's corralled by Matheson. And he'll skate it back into his own zone here with 18:27 to go in the third, just underway. Habs at center, Newhook over the line. He's going to be whistled down for offside.
If the Sabres are going to press the way they have in this first minute and a half, the Habs have to take full advantage of the odd number rushes that are going to present themselves. That's going to be very important for the Habs. We just saw Slavkovsky take full advantage of it with Hudson, hit the post above Lyon's right arm. They're going to have many opportunities.
Sabres win the neutral zone draw. And up to center they skate. There's a long try from Greenway. That's no trouble for Dobish. He's able to scoop it up. And it's hard to believe, Mark, there was a point in this game where we were wondering if Marty St. Louis was going to pull Jakub Dobish after 3 goals on 4 shots. But Dobish has been perfect since that point.
And patience really paid off in those circumstances. And Jakub Dobish has earned the right to battle through it. And he's showing that that trust is worthy. He hasn't had to be stellar, but he's been solid, and he's been able to get his bearings back. That's something I don't believe we would have been able to see early in the season with Jakub Dobish.
And his bounce back ability has been on display once again tonight as the Sabres off the ozone faceoff. One-time try by Samuelsson. That one's on the mark, and Dobish shuts the door again as the Habs play it to center. And here goes Demidov, far wing, dancing in, lost the handle on it. Arm is up in the air. We're going to have a Buffalo penalty. And the Canadiens are going to the man advantage.
Demidov driving the net, sets up another power play. To the Sabres captain, that's a great game by Demidov. He's seeing the ice really well. He sees an opening, tries to dance around Dahlin. That cross-checks him down to the ice.
Canadiens didn't waste much time scoring on their first power play tonight. They are 1 for 1, and key player in the box here for Buffalo with Rasmus Dahlin. Demidov will stay on the ice with unit number 1. Face-off glove side on Lyon. And false start. Nick Suzuki's going to get tossed, so Slavkovsky steps in versus Jordan Greenway. Big moment here in the game. Habs can make it 6-3 with a power play goal. Sabres win the face-off though, and Beck Malenstein clears it off the glass and out. Lane Hudson winding ahead to center ice. It's dropped back for Nick Suzuki. Into Buffalo territory. Suzuki. Drop back to the line. Hudson. Near side Caulfield. Down to Suzuki. Back to the line for Lane Hudson. Suzuki near side. Back to Hudson. Over to Suzuki again, left wing. Shuffles off to Caulfield by the hash marks. Down to the goal line. Back up top for Hudson. Tries a shot. That one redirected and missed. As it goes to the point for Ivan Demidov. Switching with Hudson, far side Hudson. Couldn't get the puck off as it'll go back to Demidov. High in the slot, low shot, that one just missed. 1 minute to go in the 5-on-4. Far side, Suzuki moved to the inside, off his backhand, lost it. And once again settled down by Lane Hudson. Hudson. Over to Demidov. That one got away from him, but a good keep in by Hudson. Bounces over far side. Here's Demidov through the middle. Shot, scores! And there it is for Ivan Demidov. First Stanley Cup playoff goal. And that might be it for Buffalo here. It's another power play marker, 6-3 for Montreal.
It felt like it was only about time, right? He was playing that type of game. He's been around it. He's generated for his line mates. He's been good on the power play. He's actually created that very power play by driving the net. This time, Slavkovsky, a good keep in, a nice pass to the high slot. Demidov just changes the angle, finds the back of the net, all smiles, and more importantly, collectively, the Montreal Canadiens are making the Buffalo Sabres pay dearly for their mistakes and their lack of discipline.
It didn't take Ivan Demidov long to score his first goal in the National Hockey League. He
Sure didn't.
The first 10 minutes of his first game against Chicago. It's taken him a little longer, though, to get his first in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Didn't have one against Washington last year, and finally gets one tonight in Game 5 on Buffalo as the Habs moving right back in. Kirby Dach got a tip in front. Lyon makes that save. 6-3 the score for the Canadiens with 15:52 to go in the third. So still plenty of time in this period, but it is a long way back for the Buffalo Sabres into this game.
One would think the Buffalo Sabres have learned their lesson. Run and gun hockey is not going to work against the Montreal Canadiens. They blocked shots, they played well defensively to win Game 4, but they've gotten away so fast from that here in Game 5.
McLeod into the Montreal zone. Puck is taken away by Philip Deneau. Back out to center. Played into the Sabres zone. Taken away by Ryan McLeod. Now back into Hab territory. Here's McLeod driving in behind the Canadiens net. Drops it off. Thompson, little spin shot, and Dobish able to stop that. There's no rebound as he covers up.
And the best part of those two power play goals, they allowed the Montreal Canadiens to separate from the Buffalo Sabres in what is a very tight series, there's no doubt. Now, by making them pay, the Buffalo Sabres have just opened up the game even more, and they're feeding into Montreal's transition. This very last, right before the whistle moment, is a wraparound try, a 360 shot by Tage Thompson, but from a bad angle. We just saw Dobesh being very calm and able to freeze that puck, put his glove on it, not allow any rebound. That's how far along he's come in this game alone.
It's been 17 straight saves for Jakub Dobesh since allowing that goal to Konsta Helenius back in the first. As the Canadiens go all the way back into their own zone. Keep in mind as well, Dobesh had a streak of 58 straight saves in the third period before Zach Benson scored in the third period of Game 4. So it has been hard to find a way through Jakub Dobesh in the third period here over his last few games. As the Canadiens are back into their own zone. That stretch, by the way, went all the way back to the Tampa Bay series for Dobesh. As here's Demidov, far side pass, and that was a good look for Montreal. It's flung wide of the net, though, by Noah Dobson. Near side corner, they battle for it. It's taken away by Owen Power, and head to center goes Zucker. He'll drop it off to Cole Caulfield, who's there to take it away. And the Habs spinning around in their own zone. This one gets away from Quinn, ends up out of play into the Montreal bench. 13:47 to go. In period number 3, Ivan Demidov has made it 6-3 Montreal on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
I'm with a Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. Yeah, put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No? What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
6-3 the lead for Montreal in period number 3 over Buffalo with 13:47 to play, and Demidov has himself a power play goal for his first in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's got to be a great feeling, Mark, for a guy that's come close so many times.
It's the weight of the world off your shoulders, but he's been all around it. He's been a factor in this game, not just because he scored, but also because he scored. And now he's not the predictable one-timing machine that he was since the start of this series. All smiles.
Demidov last year, no goals in 5 games versus Washington, although he did have 3 KHL playoff goals in 6 games in a first-round series for Scott St. Petersburg that they lost. And, of course, allowed him to end his season and come over and join the Montreal Canadiens in the National Hockey League. The Habs go back in behind their own net and play it ahead to center ice. Buffalo back into their own zone. They'll fling it back through neutral territory. It's deflected in by Tage Thompson. And Caden Gooley sits on it behind the net. He'll start the breakout. Habs snap it to center. It's played in by Joe Valeno. As it comes back over to Owen Power, here goes Buffalo through neutral territory. Byram left side, shot trickles wide of the net. Back to the right side, Byram on it again. Snaps it cross ice off the boards right to Doc, and the Habs would have numbers through center. Here's Bolduc left side. Tried to pass it through the middle, but Josh Norris back defensively to break that up. Norris near side. Tied up with Goulet. They both go down to the ice. Here's Byram. In the slot for Buffalo. Over to Power, long shot, and not a very hard one, but it is stopped by Dobish just the same, and he hangs on for the whistle.
The Canadiens are playing with a cushion now, but you do not want to feed the beast. What Zachary Bolduc did just there, zone entry, careless pass through the high slot. You know their defensemen are going to try to cut those passes and jump up. Bring that puck below the circles, play down low, take that puck 200 feet away from you, and take their will away. Don't let the Sabres think they can get back in this by jumping the gun, cutting high-risk passes, and restructuring the counters. You don't want to be doing that.
Buffalo off the offensive zone face-off wing, get a shot from Krebs. And it's taken away by Matheson to center. Sabres pick it up. 12:05 to go in the third. 6-3 Montreal lead, game 5. Josh Anderson elevates this off the boards and out through center. Dahlin back for it. Played all the way to center ice for Buffalo. Canadiens break it up on the Sabres zone entry. Back to center for Dahlin. Now move it all the way back into his own zone. Samuelson is there, and Buffalo are going to change. Consta Helenius. Pass through the middle, finds Thompson, knocked away from him. As it's handled right side by Owen Power. He'll step in over the Montreal line. Has Helenius with him, back to the point. Here's Bowen Byram. Hangs on to it, throws it over near side, little backhand try for Power, that's stopped. And Power again at the line, over to Helenius near side. Long floater, that's tipped off the pad of Dobish. Now Byram threatens with his shot, that one's right off the chest protector. And we get a bit of a pile up here in front after Dobish throws the puck for the whistle.
The key point of this last save from Dobish right before the pileup in front of him is not to give any rebounds up. There's a couple of pucks there that Dobish hasn't been able to see that were tipped in front of him, but on that last Byram coming around in the cycle to take that shot, Dobish takes it off his chest, into his glove, no rebound. Right before Jack-Eye moves Tuck away from in front of him.
And that's another, I believe that's the first shift of this third period, Mark, for Arbor Jack-Eye. We'll see if the Canadiens try and get him in a little bit more here with the score 6-3.
Yeah, it's not an easy role to fill, but you need to be ready. That's just the nature of where you're at now, trying to get 2 shots at punching your tickets to the conference final.
Sabres into their own zone. Benson plays it off the boards. Picked up by Dahlin. Buffalo through center, 10:35 to play in the third. Here's a wrister from Samuelson, rebound in front, bouncing around on Dobish. Settled down far side boards by Buffalo. Another shot, a little chaos in front as it's pushed to the far corner. Back in behind, Benson to the line. Dahlin with a try, that one sails wide. On near side boards, Samuelson swipes at it, but it goes back to center. And the Sabres reset. They'll get another line change in. Halfway gone in this third period. Here's Ryan McLeod over the Montreal line. Quinn with a wrister. That's caught by Dobish. And frozen for the whistle as Buffalo look pretty good here with a few offensive zone chances, but can't beat Dobish. In this third period, it's still a 3-goal spread for the Canadiens in Game 5 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Montreal, the moment you've all been waiting for. Teddy Swims, The Ugly Tour. October 7th at the Bell Center. Get your tickets at teddyswims.com.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
9:54 to go in period number 3. Still 6-3 lead Montreal in game 5. And Mark, the Buffalo Sabres already have 9 shots in this period, but Jakub Dobeš doesn't look like he's a fragile goaltender at all right now.
He doesn't look anything like the goalie that started this game and gave up 3 on the first 4 shots. His rebound control is next to none. I'll tell you this, the Buffalo Sabres are probably going to throw everything they can at the net, bodies and pucks alike. They're going to run up the shot clock. It gives you that opportunity as a goalie to be just a tad more aggressive, to focus on making that first save and not giving up a rebound. And Dobeš has been excellent. Post third goal scored by the Buffalo Sabres.
Habs in their own zone. Here's Josh Anderson. He'll lift it out to center. And into the Buffalo zone it goes. Texier on it. He'll snap it round the boards. All the way to the line. Here's Gooley. Long look on Lyon, and that bounces around. In fact, it's gone over the glass out of play as Josh Anderson was bowled over in front of the net.
Josh Anderson has been a force throughout these playoffs. For him to score another goal tonight is tremendous, but he sets the tone. And I like how when he gets on the forecheck, opponent's defensemen are hearing footsteps, and that says a lot. It's almost impossible to keep that up for 82 regular season games, 84 next season. But in these playoffs, he's been giving it all for the Montreal Canadiens in New Jersey.
That he has, Mark, and as you're praising Josh Anderson there, Owen Power has gone down the tunnel for the Buffalo Sabres. He was limping on his way there. So that is not great news for the Sabres right now, who are down to 5D and would obviously love to have Owen Power in the lineup for them and what would be a winner-go-home situation at Game 6. That is if the score stands, as the Canadiens throw it in from center. Valeno got it in behind the net. Samuelson up the far wing with 9 minutes to play. Sabres fire it in. Here's Dahlin in the slot, left side. Pressured by Doc. Off the far boards. This is settled down by Montreal. And now hoisted to center by Zach Bolduc. Valeno gets to it. Will carry in far side. He's knocked off the puck by Samuelson. Sabres play it to center, and the Habs will be content to just fire it right back in.
And that's the simplest way to go about it. It's the smartest way to go about it as well. Keep them 200 feet away from your net.
Here's Ryan McLeod in with speed. Dropped it off to Jack Quinn. That shot might have got the outside of the goalpost. As Quinn has looked dangerous again tonight for Buffalo. Tries another shot. This one goes off a stick and high out of play.
Former Ottawa 67's Jack Quinn has had a couple of good looks there. That very last one as he's coming in with speed. Tries to use Matheson as a screen. The shot will just go wide of Dobeš and hit the outside of the post, blocker side against Montreal's goalie.
former 52-goal man, Jack Quinn, in a single season with the Ottawa 67s, but does not have a goal yet in this Stanley Cup playoffs for Buffalo.
Partial good news there for the Buffalo Sabres as Owen Power is back on the bench trying to shake the pain away. We'll see if he's able to continue in this third period.
8:04 to go in it. Canadiens up 6-3 on Buffalo, and the Habs get it out to center again. Luke Shen back into his own zone with Bowen Byram. Collected by Tage Thompson, right side, Habs territory. Taken away by Deneau, and played all the way out to center. Sabres on it with Byram. To the neutral zone with Shen. Right side, played in by Thompson. Here's Mike Matheson on him. Stripped away by Tuck. Sabres at the line. Long backhander, that's off the pad of Dobish. Ends up in the near corner. Anderson steers it over to Texier. Pressured by Jack Quinn. The Sabres hold it in. Krebs throws it down low. Canadiens pick it up and just play it around for Carrier. Matheson spinning in behind his own net. Played off to Carrier, and they'll force that around the boards out to center. Canadiens right back on it. Caulfield tosses it in. That's scooped up by Lyon, and he's going to be forced to hold on to that with 6:45 to play.
What this 3-goal lead allows you to do is to manage and distribute almost evenly the ice time. Roll 4 lines, probably 5 defensemen. I don't think Arbor Jacquet gets a regular shift yet, but you'll be able to do that there in the latter part if you can keep that up. I like Montreal's intensity, but controlled intensity, where they're not being stubborn and they're managing the puck very well. We just saw Cole Caulfield. In between the red and the blue, no free entries, just a lob, and force an offensive zone faceoff.
Faceoff glove hand side on Lyon. It's won back by Buffalo. Sabres on it in their own zone. Samuelson up the wing for Doan. Through center, here's Dahlin. Off the Benson, long try, and that one might have been deflected by Dolbish and out. And it will be a faceoff back in the Canadian zone.
It makes the puck so much bigger for a goalie when teams decide to enter the zone and shoot it at you. Doesn't look like Owen Power. Yeah, gives this coach a nod. Went out for a quick skate there, maybe half a shift. They'll need him. They'll need him in games 6 and 7 if we get to that.
Yep, no question. And it looks like Buffalo's going to pull their netminder here. Lyon to the bench, so a bit of a Hail Mary from Lindy Ruff. With his team trailing 6-3 and 6.5 to go in the third. Looking for any kind of spark here to get the Sabres back into it. Battle behind the Montreal net. Taken away by the Habs. Tossed out to center. This might go all the way, but Matthias Samuelsson back on his horse in time to pick it up. That puck was destined for the empty net as here goes Tage Thompson. And on the right side, low shot, steered away by Dobish. Norris with a hit in the far side corner. Carrier applies pressure. Swatted down to the Buffalo zone, and Thompson might have taken a high stick, but no arm in the air. Here's side corner. We've only seen 2 penalties against the Buffalo Sabres tonight. The Habs have scored on both of them. Sabres are 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Here's a long shot that's stopped by Dobish, and he'll hang on to that. 5:37 to go in this game. Habs trying to nurse home a 6-3 lead in Game 5 to put themselves in front 3-2, heading back home for Game 6 on Saturday.
I've always wondered what kind of tires they put on the Zamboni.
I bet they're not summer tires.
Maybe all season?
I doubt it.
Yeah, good point. Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Jeez, feels like the Habs are always on the road.
I hope they have good tires.
They fly.
Yeah, good point.
Point S. Until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit sr.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
5:37 to go in the third. Canadiens are up 6-3, and this game is not exactly in danger, Mark, given the score on the clock right now and probably the way this game's been played over the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and obviously Buffalo's pressing. They try to pull the goalie way early, 6:30 left. A bit of a Hail Mary. But let's not forget that the Buffalo Sabres led this game 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and had a glorious chance with Tage Thompson on a breakaway early in the second.
Sabres off the draw. There's a good one-timer from Dahlin. That's blockered away by Dobish. Shaky start for Jakob tonight, but he has been perfect ever since the Sabres made it 3-2. Buffalo hold it in. Here's Tuck with a shot. That sails high. Far side corner. Canadiens dig it free. And they're able to lob it to center. McLeod right back in with Tuck. Taken away by Matheson. Steered around the boards. Not out. Dahlin. Shot goes wide off the body. Here's Quinn. Back into the near corner for Buffalo. Zucker plays it out for Tuck. That one is turned aside as well off a quick shot. As Byram up top. Over to Dahlin, back down low. Keep in mind, Sabres 6-on-5 right now, working this like a power play. Here's McLeod. Trying to snap it cross ice. That's broken up, and the Habs fire it wide of the net. That'll go for an icing call, and that's not a bad trade-off, Mark, because there was a broken stick on the play for the Canadiens.
Yeah, and you know that the Sabres have come out with their best forwards out there. You're able to cut a pass, recover a pass. You'll take the icing anytime and force the Sabres into their timeout if they want to.
4:32 to play in this third period. As the Sabres win the offensive zone faceoff, shot goes wide, Habs cleared out down the ice again, and there'll be another icing. Oh no, they're going to say that's tipped, so no icing. As Samuelson is back on it, we play on here. Sabres through center. Thompson down the wing. Little toe drag wrister goes wide off the leg. Back in behind, Benson. To the far side, Anderson. This rolls down the ice. Was that tipped? No, it was not. And it will be an icing for Montreal. And at this rate, that bus is going to be warm enough here to take the Habs out of Buffalo.
Once you get that one icing, you'll take two, you'll take three, you'll take four, especially now that you've been able to get a change. I mean, you'll take that trade-off. You were sitting on a 3-goal lead, and the Sabres are pressing.
Face-off win for Buffalo. They are out shooting the Habs 18-3 in this third period, but the Habs got 1 goal on 3 shots. That's all they needed here to put enough distance. Up 6-3. That was Demidov on the power play earlier on in this period. Sabres down low with it, behind the net. Here's Zucker. Off to the far side, cross ice. Knocked down off the boards by McLeod. Back down low for Zucker in the corner. Tuck out in front, that one just missed. Here's Dahlin. Back to the goal line for Buffalo. Hudson knocks over his man, but he's taking a penalty on the play. So the Sabres will get a power play here with 3:28 to go in the third. Bit of a ruckus here at center ice, as Bowen Byram was down on all fours. And Lane Hudson's going to go off for the Canadiens.
So Hudson gets a penalty for his cross-check on Jack Quinn, who kind of goes down a tad easy. And at center ice, Josh Anderson, I mean, Bowen Byram stands in front of Anderson. It is a slash, but talk about embellishing and exaggerating.
We've seen that a few times tonight.
We've seen that a few times, and I don't think the referees are going to fall for it. Listen up.
Montreal 48, minor penalty cross-checking. Montreal 17, minor penalty slashing. Buffalo penalty number 6, minor penalty cross-checking.
Okay, so Benson gets one.
All right, we didn't see the Benson cross-check in there, but they are going to get Anderson for the slash on Bowen Byram. Did get him.
Anderson definitely slashed Bowen Byram. There's no doubt about it. I'm not quite sure where Zach Benson cross-checks a Montreal player, but the result is the same. We're still going to have a shorthanded situation, most likely with the goalie pulled. Okay, so Byram's the one going.
All right, they announced that as
yeah.
Benson for cross-checking.
Yeah,
all right, but it will be Byram. Josh Anderson still not thrilled with the outcome here.
No, and Bowen Byram has shied away from a lot of the physicality in this series so far. For him to get into that one-on-one matchup with Josh Anderson, I'd rather see Josh Anderson just simply walk away from that confrontation. And for the Montreal Canadiens to try and kill this off.
It's going to be 6-on-4 here for Buffalo. They are 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. Off the face-off, Sabres win it back. Jack Quinn, near side. To the line for Dahlin. Works it over to Quinn, near side, and he's got to contend with the referee here. Greg Skilleter was in the way. Canadiens break it up, and they're able to play it off the boards out down the ice. Dahlin back ahead to center. He'll just drop it off for Tage Thompson. Far side dome. Sabres set it up again, 6-on-4. Right side Quinn to the goal line. Benson with it, spins it around to Quinn. Down low, Benson tried to center that in front. It was all the way over to the far corner. Doan hands it off to Thompson. Back down low to Doan. Tried to center that. Back through the middle. There's a save from Dobish as they scramble on the goal mouth. The Habs able to punch it out to center ice.
The one positive thing about that penalty, Montreal is free to ice that puck.
50 seconds to go in the kill as we got 2:15 left in the game. Here goes Dahlin for his skate through the middle. Lost it. Dobish covers up. Got a bit of a snow shower, and Dahlin was escorted quickly out of the crease as we get a bit of a scrum afterwards.
As tempers flare up a little bit, I think we're going to see Newhook and Benson here go. Dobish was solid. He was solid as Buffalo's amping the pressure on that power play at the end of that 6-on-4. Dobish was really, really solid, standing tall. And on the last strike, Dahlin with a charge up the net. And once again, Dobish able not to give up any rebounds.
So Zach Benson goes down the tunnel. He's done with that 10-minute misconduct. There's 43 seconds left in the power play here for Buffalo. Newhook is also done for the night. He got a 10-minute misconduct on the play as well. 2:10 to go in the third, and both teams just trying to walk away here unscathed to go back to Montreal for Game 6, which will be an elimination game.
And that's the only objective for the Montreal Canadiens now.
D-zone face-off for the Habs. And behind the net. Big scrum for it now near corner. Pops loose for Owen Power. Bouncing puck settled down over to Hellenis. Back over to Power. Far side Sabres with it. Power up top. Ristner off a stick and hit the glass. Sounds like some Olay chants in Buffalo. Habs fans traveling well tonight. As a lot of Sabre fans have already left the premises with this 3-goal spread for the Canadiens as Hellenis, final seconds of the power play. Dishes off to Power. We are 6-on-5 again. Sabres still with the empty net. Habs settle it down in the slot, move to center ice. Anderson is back on the ice for the Habs. Minute 10 to go in this game. Buffalo to center, snapped in by McLeod. Habs sweeping around the boards and out again. That was Dobson, and they're gonna wave off icing here with under a minute to go in a 6-3 Montreal lead. Jack Quinn, right side. In behind the Canadiens' net. Trying to hand it off through the middle. Back to the line. Samuelson directs it down low. Norris on it. Back up high. Missed Dahlin with the pass, and it's a self-clearance all the way down the ice. Sabres back through center. Here's Thompson. Buffalo unable to fight away past Jakub Dobeš since they made it 3-2. As the Canadiens able to lock it down defensively tonight. And they rattle off 4 unanswered goals as we get a whistle here for a high stick with 7.5 seconds remaining in period number 3.
And what a great showing by the Montreal Canadiens. Trailing 3 different times in the first period. Dobeš allowing 3 goals in the first 4 shots he faced. Marty Sale would be impatient, keeping his goalie in this game after giving Trevor Letowski a long look. And I think the long thought process of knowing what to do. Dobeš answers the bell. The Habs bounce right back. Make Buffalo pay for the lack of discipline. That special teams battle was huge in this one, and they're going to get 2 shots at it.
And we will see you on Saturday night. Game 6 in Montreal. It will be an elimination game with the Montreal Canadiens leading the series 3-2.